There is one thing I need to remind you of, because in your daily life you may forget this, and that's not a shame, that's not an embarrassment. You're just a human being, and as a human being you're not aware of everything all the time. No, you're not. That's natural and there's nothing wrong with it. What I'm reminding you of here is for you to stop looking after signs. A sign is a sign, and it depends on the context whether the sign is relevant or not. I'm not saying don't pay attention to signs, but I'm telling you, stop looking after a sign. So stop being a sign seeker. I've spoken about relief seekers often. Now I'm talking about sign seekers. Now, all relief seekers are automatically sign seekers, whether aware of it or not. But as a believer, I'm telling you, stop looking after signs. Christ never enabled nor promoted this behavior, or better, this attitude. Christ never did. Christ discouraged it. There were even times Christ stopped performing miracles and wonders because people were sign seekers. And when you read carefully, the scribes and Pharisees, the enemies of Christ, were hardcore sign seekers. Now, what is sign seeking? Sign seeking is when you have an expectation and you're looking for external confirmation of that expectation. However, you are not willing to examine that expectation at all. There's nothing wrong with having an expectation and look for confirmation. If you are a supervisor and you work at some factory, you have the expectation handed to you by your boss to make sure that the machines operate well. So you have this expectation, and now you walk around and you check the machines. Now, is there anything wrong with you looking for confirmation that the machines are working well? If you think that the one machine doesn't work well, it's just a thing you suspect. You don't have any evidence. Now you're going to check it out. Is there anything wrong with that? No. In this case, the sign you're looking for is just to see whether the machine works well or not. So there's nothing wrong with looking for a sign when you need it. If you are in the military and one of your superiors has to give you a sign in order for you to march, then you need to look for the sign so that you know when you can march or when you shouldn't march. So it's not the looking for a sign in itself. It's sign seeking that I'm talking about. When you have an expectation that you just don't want to look at, yet you keep looking for confirmation for that expectation, that's sign seeking. And that is what Christ discourages us from doing. Why? Because when you do this, you operate in blindness. Not literal physical blindness, but mental blindness, emotional blindness. Oh, especially emotional blindness. There are many people operate in emotional blindness. That's why when you mention certain things to them, to alert them, they can't handle it. They turn on you. Because because they are sign seekers. Or as scripture says, they are looking after a sign. I mean, that's their attitude in life. They are sign seekers. And a sign seeker is as already mentioned, is spiritually blinded. But not only that, a sign seeker is also an enabler of evil. Let me tell you why. Because when someone persists in not looking at the bigger picture, they're really themselves giving a sign to the rest of the human population that they don't care about whether something is true, safe, or beneficial to the human population. What they're signing off is that it's all about them, their relief and their ease. So they are promoting a lie, as if self-interest should be the highest value people should chase after, because that's what they're doing. Sign seeking, besides selfish, is narcissistic. Now, people tend to be selfish from time to time. And after all, they realize, hold on a minute, that wasn't right. But sign seeking is not just selfish, it's narcissistic. And here's the thing, all narcissists are sign seekers. The reprobates that rule this world are sign seekers, and they're conditioning the masses to follow in their ways. That's why beware with receiving dating advice on whom to marry, or maybe not dating advice, but maybe advice on whom to hang out with, what type of friends you should have. Beware of taking such advice from people. Today you have the internet, and a lot of folks go on the internet to look for information to how to handle relationships, how to handle pressure. And there's nothing wrong with looking for answers, with looking for data. Just watch out whom you consult. Because not everyone is interested in the truth. Some people just want to ventilate their expectations to you and hope you agree with them so they are at ease. And this thing about sign seeking, this is why many of you who have been the target or severely victimized by dangerous people, that's why you ended up in those situations to begin with. Listen what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that the reason you ended up in that situation was because you were operating in sign seeking. People didn't call it what it was, sign seeking. And many just churches don't teach about this because they're Babylon churches. No, I'm telling you, you operate in sign seeking. And because of that, you couldn't look at the bigger picture. You couldn't see what was really going on. That's why you enable things without you being aware you were enabling it. And here's the thing. When people find themselves in an uncomfortable situation, now they want signs how they could escape this dangerous situation. So now they learn all about having boundaries, about how to teach people how to treat them. Then they go from one sign seeking to other sign seeking. What you should do, or I'm saying what should happen, is that you learn to look through stuff. You learn to see through deceptions. When you see through deceptions lose their power over you. Their grip falls off you. But to see through stuff means that you need to let go of the small picture that you've invested in so much. And that's what a lot of folks just don't want to do. A lot of folks get offended, upset when someone is disrespectful or impolite. They have their expectations how they ought to be treated and all. And they go into a raging tantrum when a narcissist mistreats them. Everyone who doesn't meet their standards is a narcissist. I'm not talking about, there's also an attitude of not only relief seeking, but it's also sign seeking. Because you're only interested in what you expect, but you don't evaluate that will of yours. That's why in the New Testament is written, examine yourselves to see whether or not you're in the faith. Well, the same I'm telling you, to examine yourself. Because so many of you never examine yourself. Many of you condemn yourself. Many of you compare yourself, but you never examine yourself to see whether you're Christ-centered or not. Well, that's it for now. I agree with Christ and be at peace.